Hello students. So today we are going to learn about the formation of a very important reagent of your organic chemistry, that is Grignard reagent, and how do you prepare alkanes from a Grignard reagent. So let's start off with firstly understanding what exactly do you mean by a Grignard reagent. सबसे पहले Grignard reagent is an compound in which a carbon is connected directly to a metal, and therefore you say M over here is a metal. There is a direct bond between carbon and the metal, and thus these compounds are referred as organometallic compounds. So, question number one, why are they called as organometallic compounds? Because you have a direct bond between carbon and the metal atom. Further, अब आगे देखते हैं. Over here, when you are talking about organic compounds with metals, that is, compounds containing organometallic bonds. These compounds, like Grignard reagent, these compounds are called as type 1 compounds. Now, why they are called as type 1 compounds? Because यहाँ पे carbon and metal के बीच में सिर्फ एक bond है, and therefore they are called as type 1 metals or type 1 organometallic compounds. Further, अगर आप एक pure dry alkyl halide लेते हो and treat करते हो with magnesium in presence of dry ether, let's see what exactly happens. So you have an alkyl halide Rx, इसको आपने ट्रीट किया Mg के साथ in the presence of dry ether. What you would get is simply RMgX, and this RMgX is alkyl magnesium halide, which is also referred as Grignard reagent. अच्छा, over here few important things that you need to remember. सबसे पहले the bond between R and Mg is a polar covalent bond. The bond between Mg and X is an ionic bond, and a dry condition is required. Please remember, अगर आप यहाँ पे सिर्फ ether लेते हो तो ये reaction नहीं होगा. You would require dry ethers, that is, dry conditions are absolutely necessary. Okay, let's look at the reaction one more time. यहाँ पे instead of dry ether, you could also use some other solvents like THF, that is tetrahydrofuran, anisole, or dimethyl aniline can be used. Next one, you need to solve a question, that is, what would be the action of Mg on C2H5Br. So देखते हैं इसको, बहुत सिंपल सा एक क्वेश्चन है कि आपके पास है C2H5Br, उसके साथ आपने Mg ऐड कर दिया in the presence of dry ether, होगा क्या? C2H5, Mg and Br. So therefore ethyl bromide gets converted to ethyl magnesium bromide. So this was the preparation of Grignard reagent, कि Grignard reagent कैसे बनता है. अच्छा, एक और चीज बिफोर वी मूव एनी फर्दर देन इन द टॉपिक, ओवर हियर जरूरी नहीं है दैट योर अल्काइल ग्रुप्स और योर आर ग्रुप्स should always be a straight chain compound or should always be an aliphatic compound. It can be a cyclic compound also. Okay, so हम लोग कुछ examples भी देखेंगे, don't worry. But before that, let's try to prepare alkanes. हमारा main aim was preparation of alkanes, so let's try to prepare that. Okay, over here what we need to know or what we need to remember, Grignard reagent decomposes in the presence of proton donors, that is, species which shows acidic property. So what you need to remember कि ऐसे species जैसे water हो गया HOH, या फिर alkyne हो गया, या फिर ammonia हो गया, या फिर alcohol हो गया, in presence of these compounds your Grignard reagent will decompose to give you a corresponding alkane. Let's see how. मेरे पास एक reagent है RMgX, which is obviously a Grignard reagent. इसको मैंने treat किया water के साथ, that is HOH. Now just tell me, my dear students, over here if you just notice the charges, magnesium is a metal, so he will have a partial positive charge. R is a non-metal, so he will have a partial negative charge. Hydrogen of water has partial positive and OH has partial negative. So what will happen? OH Mg की तरफ अट्रैक्ट किया जाएगा and R H की तरफ अट्रैक्ट किया जाएगा. So the RMg bond, which is a polar covalent bond, वो bond टूटेगा, giving you RH plus MgXOH. And what is RH? RH is nothing but your alkane. Example देखते हैं. जैसे मैंने आपको बोला, you don't intend always take a non-cyclic compound. You can even take a cyclic compound over here. So मेरे पास एक Grignard reagent है, cyclohexyl magnesium halide. इसको I am treating it with water, which is a proton donor in this case. Magnesium, partial positive, carbon, partial negative, hydrogen, partial positive, OH, partial negative. What would happen? OH will attract towards Mg, H will attract towards the carbon. So what you will get is bond between carbon and Mg breaks out, giving you MgBrOH, and along with this, you would get a compound which is cyclohexane. Cyclohexane में H लग जाएगा definitely. So you can even write it like this. Okay, so this is how you will produce alkanes from Grignard reagent. तो ध्यान रखना है इसमें Grignard reagent सबसे पहले अभी तक जो हम लोग ने यूज देखा है Grignard reagent का is to produce alkanes. And how will you produce alkanes? By simply putting Grignard reagent with a proton donor. Proton donor कौन से species होंगे? Water या alkyne या ammonia या alcohol. You can have any of these species which can act like a proton donor. जो भी बचा हुआ हिस्सा है वो मैग्नीशियम के साथ चला जाएगा, giving you either MgOHBr या giving you MgNH2Br or giving you MgORBr, something like this. Okay, so I hope you must have understood what is the formation of Grignard reagent and how Grignard reagent is used in preparation of alkanes. That's all for this module. Students will meet up in the next module. Till then, thank you and happy learning.